friends, strangers, internet. My name is Emily Hanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. And I am back today with my most favorite video to make, which is New Makeup Nonsense Bingo. This is the collaboration that I do about every month with Theresa is Dead. And this is our spin on the new makeup, will I buy it, you know, yes or pass, anti-hauls versus wish list, our spin on that video. We use makeup bingo cards that are full of all of the trendy, ridiculous things that are happening in the makeup industry. And we together as a duo pick out the products we want to talk about, and then we use a randomizer that picks the order in which we talk about things so that we don't talk about the same things or just talk about what we want to talk about. I am going to throw on the screen a little capture of all of the products that we have in our pile today that we could possibly talk about. Highly doubt that we will get through all of these because I have almost 50 different releases, but it'll give you a sense of what might come up. This is also a drinking game. Every time you get a spot on your card, you take a drink. But I also wanted to clarify and tell you all that I drink all throughout the video. Last month, there was some talk from Theresa that she just drinks all the time through the video and not only when she hits a spot on her card. Oh, no. I drink all throughout the video too. I just specifically make sure I take a drink if I hit a spot on my card. Speaking of that, my drink today is a mixture of whiskey with a grapefruit seltzer and some fresh orange juice. So I'm hoping it'll be like a spin on a whiskey sour. I have yet to try it. Let's give it a try. It's a thing. It's a drink. It'll do. I'm also going to be double fisting some Gatorade because I'm actually trying to fight off a cold right now, and drinking is probably not the best idea, but don't be like me, kids. Before I get into the makeup, wanted to say if you are a creator, you are invited to do these videos. There are no real rules. We have the bingo cards linked in the description box along with the hashtags we use, and we have a community playlist. So if you do the video, I would love for you to put it on the community playlist, and if you have any issues doing that, you can always DM me on Instagram. I'm @Nomnivorous, or find me on Twitter under the same name. Now we're going to get into the new makeup releases. So the first collection up is the Kiko Milano Tuscan Sunshine collection. Now this is a really pretty understated collection. It's something that I feel like, is it totally brand new to the market? No. Do I still think it kind of has a place out there? I do. I just think it's very nicely done. I mean, everything is kind of mid-tone. You have those nice floral impressions. But with Kiko, I also feel this weird trepidation because their price point is just, it's not at that impulsive drugstore price point where you would just kind of be like, yeah, I'm going to grab a face palette, or I'm going to grab an eyeshadow palette, or, you know, something like that. It's, you know, $22 for the face palette, $18 for the single compact face powders. That's where I have trouble kind of making the connection. Like the little 6-pan, I've been drawn to the Zoeva ones and to the Nabla ones that have come out, and I think this is a nice continuation, but I don't know if I would grab it for $18. So it's one of those, like, it's nice, but I don't want it. It doesn't make me do a double take. I'm gonna give this to Pretty Embossing Basic Product just because I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that product. But the embossing makes me want it. Okay, so the next thing up is the Clinique collaboration with Cacao Friends. This looks like it's only a release This looks like it's only a release in Asia, but this is such a cute little trio of cheek pop blushes that have an imprint of different characters from the Kiko Friends line. I tried to research a little bit. It looks like it's some kind of, I don't know if it's a show or just some animated characters. They do cute homewares and all kinds of things, so collaborations with that brand kind of makes sense. It's kind of a bummer that this kind of stuff is only in Asia. It's like I see Clinique doing little things to kind of try to be a little bit more, I don't know, modern or more interesting, at least for me, between the Lunar New Year highlighter and this trio, but they're not very accessible. And I'm going to give that to a collab with somebody not known for their makeup. And the next product up is a new concealer from Beauty Blender. Continuing from their Bounce foundation range, they're doing concealers. So according to the post that I found on Trend Mood, they're coming out with 40 shades, and it's a full coverage concealer. You could use it as a highlighter or a contour, of course, and it contains hyaluronic acid, polymers, and peptides. So this concealer is kind of continuing this trend of skincare infused makeup. But I'm suspect of that. Like, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just suspect of that. And I don't know if it actually is ever going to do anything for our skin, or if it's just another marketing thing that they can use to pump up the price. I see that they're like trying to promote they're doing 40 shades, because I know Beauty Blender got shit for their shade range when they first launched their foundation. I'm not particularly interested because it's Beauty Blender and they're just not on my radar. But you know, if I'm hearing good reviews or whatever, I'd probably go check it out in store, swatch it, and see what I think from there. Next release up, which has already come out, is the full Natasha Denona Love Collection. This has an eyeshadow palette. It's the $65 kind of smaller plastic packaging palette. It has the Love Glow blush cheek palette, and it has 3 new like lip gloss products. Now, I bought the blush palette, and I'm probably returning it. I keep saying probably because I haven't done it yet, so I don't want to lead you on, I guess. It is pretty, and I love the packaging, but I find the texture that this leaves on my face not my favorite. But I'm gonna have to give it to the eyeshadow palette because I haven't seen it in person yet, but I feel like from the first reveal of the palette to the reviews I've watched since then, my thoughts on the palette have actually gone up, and my thoughts on the face palette have gone down. I'm not gonna buy the palette because it's still too, like, to me it's still too warm neutral. I wanted more pinks and purples and maybe cool tone, but it's a prettier color story than I will give it. I'll give it more credit now that I think it's a prettier color story than I thought it was. The glosses don't really interest me. I'm good, but she kind of nailed it with the aesthetics and the marketing images, and I'll give it to Natasha Denona. Like, she's gotten better and better about that part of her brand, and it makes it harder to not fall into the trap of being enticed into everything she releases because of the marketing images. And I'm giving that to half neutral, half colorful palette because I feel like she was doing something colorful and then kind of pull back, which is generally my biggest critique with Natasha. Just give me colors. Give some of us colors. You don't have to give everyone colors, but like give some of us colors. So funny that we were just talking about Natasha. This palette has made me really interested in trying other cream blushes. And a brand that I kept hearing about is Salt New York. And Salt New York originally, I think, was just doing these palettes, and they're like zippered palettes or zippered, yeah, I think zippered palettes, magnetic palettes. But I think just recently they started creating makeup products, and they have these palettes that can hold 6 pans or 4 pans of cream products. And I was like, oh, a 4-pan like custom with like 4 different blush shades, or a highlighter and 3. So I already fell into the like swooning part of it. They have blushes, highlighters, and contours. It's when I did the whole thing on the site, it's $42 for a 4-pan palette. I need to see reviews before I make this purchase, but it's high up on my list. The thing is that I don't love that whole zippered palette look, and unfortunately that aesthetic is kind of holding me back from like going in fully committed to this idea. So I just wanted to let everybody know that this exists. It looks like a fairly new release for the brand. They're doing these deals where you get like everything 50% off if you get that little bundle. So if you're interested, it seems like it could be worth checking out, but I have no experience with the brand or with the product, so I don't know. But the Salt New York little quad is definitely on my radar. If anybody that's watching happens to own any of these cream products, let me know, because all of a sudden I am super interested in cream blushes. Who am I? Okay, what the fuck is up with this Theology Recherche? I'm sorry. Theology Recherche? What the fuck is up with their serum de tint? 5 colors? They're launching a new 5 colors? I don't care how sheer coverage this product is. Releasing 5 shades for a complexion product is making my brain hurt. I mean, I know that this brand has I think it's a toner. I know that they have some kind of iconic products out in the world in terms of skincare. And again, this is the whole like skincare infused makeup thing becoming the newest, biggest trend of 2020. I mean, all of the things sound so nice. It combines skincare product performance and makeup product coverage, gives a natural coverage while allowing the skin to breathe, provides a healthy glow while protecting against urban pollutants, free radicals, and acts as a photoprotecting shield against the harmful effects of light radiation, giving you that healthy glow effect. But why 5 shades? I mean, I know why, because you don't give a fuck about Black people or people with darker skin. I understand that's why you did this, but why is this still a thing? Why are brands... Why? I have to move on before I just keep drinking out of rage. Okay, on a lighter note, we have this pretty 6-pan blush palette from OPB Beauty. Now, this is a great example of creating a more inclusive face product. I think it's just such a pretty range of colors within a face palette. And I don't think you see that so much on the mainstream. It's 29 pounds. And the thing that's so exciting too is that it looks like there's a mix of matte and shimmer blushes within the palette. And I think that's super smart, because people that are a little bit more nervous to try a shimmer palette might be willing to dip into something like this. And those that love sheen and shine have some matte options that we can then layer with the shimmery blushes. So I gotta give it to OPV. I've never tried any of their products, but if they're doing this kind of stuff along with the eyeshadow palettes they've launched that I've seen like in 2019, I'm very intrigued. Oh, I was hoping that the random gods would give me this one. I can't even. Jaclyn Hill and Morphe. I think she's up to the same old manipulation tactics. And I think Morphe is up to the same old manipulation tactics. And this palette is boring as fuck. This palette has been done so many times. And it's funny to me because for a moment, I thought Morphe had come up in the originality game with their pastel palette. But then they go right back to this shit. Who doesn't have all these colors in their collection if they wear these colors? ColourPop has done this 5 million times over, including their most recent large palette. Norvina did it. I mean, every brand has some mix of colors in this family. Yeah, it's a no from me. Anything that has her name on it is a no from me. Anything that has Morphe's name on it is most likely a no from me. Oh my god. Speaking of another brand that's just a no from me, dog, is Too Faced. And this new release palette and face palettes that, again, I'm just like, but who asked for this? Who is asking for an all neutral brown palette? Who was asking for a neutral brown palette where half of the shades look exactly the same? Okay, so that eyeshadow palette was $45. But then they have the audacity to charge $42 for the face palettes that they're coming out with. These little oval palettes that look like a cross between Hourglass and that weird matte collection that had oval pans or oval packaging. I just, no. No, Too Faced. No. No, Too Faced is still, they are still on a timeout for me. And if they are just gonna release these boring ass palettes and face palettes, they can just stay in timeout. Ooh, Terra Moon Cosmetics. Terra Moon Cosmetics, I have my eyes on you. Your shadows are next on my list of the indie brand I want to buy from. And they are releasing more of their chameleon shadows. So they have some shadows out that are really at the top of my list. They're like inner corner. They're chameleon shifting shadows, but they're paler. But they're also doing these basically multi-chromes that they're calling chameleon shadows. I'm a little nervous to pick up any more multi-chromes in the traditional format because of my experience with how one in particular behaves on my eyes. But that green one, of course the green one, if I do an order anytime in the future, one of their green multi-chromes might have to come home with me. Yeah, I think the thing is that more and more indie brands are giving other indie brands a run for their money. So, you know, keep your eye out on multiple indie brands because you never know what you'll see across different brands. Similar formulas, similar amazing wham bam pow reaction. Different brands, different price points. You never know. Okay, so the fallen golden child of the makeup industry, Norvina, has released this new Norvina mini palette, which on first glance, I wasn't interested in. On second glance, when somebody compared it to the Melt Muerte palette without all the dark blues, I was interested in. And then on third glance, when I found out that the duochrome pink in the top row is a pressed glitter, I was again not interested in. I mean, my whole thought with ABH is that, like, you had a good thing going and then you fucked it all up. And honestly, if you're gonna turn into the company that collabs with MLMs and tries to say you're gonna leave a contract even though it's a fucking contract that probably has a lot of monetary, you know, that would come with a lot of monetary damage to leave it, like, do that. Build your own grave. That's okay. I don't need more brands tempting me with your products, because if you're gonna act a fucking fool, I just don't even have to pay attention to your releases. This palette almost had me. You almost had me. But I'm glad you didn't. Because whatever bullshit you're doing in 2020 that you brought in from 2019, I don't need it in my life. I don't need your ABH negativity in my life. Sorry, I've gone from the I'm going to give you information and actually be helpful to I'm just talking shit and giving you my opinion. We've hit that point in the video, so enjoy. Oh, the randomizer has delivered me another treat. The Makeup Geek rebrand with the complete palette matrix mega system, the neutral matrix system, the colorful matrix system, the 9 pans. Speaking of a brand that, like, I just don't care to fuck with right now, that Makeup Geek is on my list. So I have a lot of the, like, bias of what happened recently with Tina the Fancy Face and Marlena, all of that. But before that even happened, this whole rebrand made my head hurt, because once it was actually revealed, after talking about it for so fucking long, in my opinion, once it was revealed, I was like, okay, so you made them into square pans, and maybe you made some new colors, and you're only starting out with, in my opinion, boring mattes and shimmers, and not rebranding with your duochromes or your foils. What? And then the whole aesthetic nightmare that is the pans being smaller than the palette, so there's a lot of extra space in the 9 pans and the big palettes. The whole thing, I could not do it. It's not for me. Like, a big neutral palette is not for me. But I also think that, like, the thing that almost annoys me more in this whole rebrand is that, from what I've heard, she keeps saying, you don't need all the shades, you don't need all the shades, you pick out what works for you. Okay, if you don't need all the shades, don't sell me all the shades in a bundle. Like, I think as a marketing perspective, to me, that kind of makes me feel like you're just talking out of two sides of your mouth. You're saying you don't need all the shades, pick out what works best for you, but then you're offering a bundle, 2 bundles, 3 bundles, whatever, that have all of that. If you truly believe that you didn't need all the shades, in my opinion, if you truly believe that, you would just sell the 9 pans. But then again, that's not maybe the smartest marketing decision. So if you're gonna go with what makes most sense for business, don't feed me some bullshit about what you should or shouldn't do, because you don't need to buy all the shadows. Anyway, just to say, I don't have any plans to buy from the rebrand. If the duochromes come back or the foils come back, because I never tried any of those from Makeup Geek, I might make myself a little quad. You never know. But right now, I don't have any desire to touch this brand. Speaking of another face palette, BH Cosmetics has launched multiple blush quads. And I have to say, for BH Cosmetics, good job. At least from the pictures, I feel like I'm impressed. So they have this whole Truffles series. They have 9 different quads and each one is $12. They have a range of shades, a range of like depths. So even, it looks like even deepest skin tones should be able to wear from this collection. I'm almost overwhelmed by how many quads there are. I really hope that this is one of those BH collections that comes to Ulta so I could see it in person, because I think that for me, some of the quads look very similar. And while they do have swatches on the website, I want to see it. I want to touch it. I want to see what's going on. They say that they have some mix of finishes. It looks like a lot of the quads are matte, but they have some that have shimmers in them. I'm just gonna say, like, good job, BH. Like, from first impression, I'm not mad at it at all. And it's another food themed release, so next up we have Meld Cosmetics. Their newest collection, Millennial Pinks. I don't know what happened, but I am not into it. Honestly, after a more Eterno collection, I don't know if they could match the hype and the beauty of that collection. But when I first saw that Melt was releasing a pink collection, I was super interested. They're doing a palette, they're doing glosses, and they're doing liners. It's a new gloss formula. It's a sparkly gloss. Okay. Gel liners in like a silver and a rose gold. And then an eyeshadow palette. I don't know. Okay, when I saw the millennial pink outside when I saw the pink marketing image when they first sneak peeked it, in my head I was imagining cooler tone pinks. And then what they showed are these really cool tones at the end, like dark black and grays, like 2 that almost look the same, and then a gray and then a white, and then the other 6 shades are pinks, but they're very warm tone pinks. So they're almost red. It feels kind of Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk done by Melt. I'm just not inspired by it. If those dark tones, if they had done like even dark purpley tones at the end, even with the warmer tone or with the cooler tone pink, like I just feel like maybe after the Amor Eternal line there was no collection that was gonna speak to me the same, but this just feels like a huge letdown. So we have a release from Beauty Blender that just seems oh so perfectly Beauty Blender, and this is a red sponge with a golden nest edition for Lunar New Year. So basically they're charging you $26 for a Beauty Blender and a little piece of plastic or something to hold the Beauty Blender on, and they're calling it Lunar New Year. I'm good. I am so good. And that Lunar New Year release got me bingo. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I don't know what that was. I don't know what those sounds were, but I'm glad we're done. I mean, I can make these videos forever and ever and ever, but y'all don't want to see me get even more drunk and devolve even further, right? You don't want to see that. I did this, maybe it was last time or the time before, where I wanted to throw my 2 cents on just a couple of things that didn't come up in my randomizer. One, Huda Beauty skincare. Nope, I do not want skincare produced by a makeup brand known for pumping their makeup full of fragrance. No thanks. 2, Urban Decay Wired Palette. Come on. Come on. Come on, Urban Decay. What the fuck is this shit? The red interior packaging, the weird division between what's eye safe and what's not. The colors. No, I'm good. I am very, very good. I have rooted for you to revamp that electric palette for a long time, Urban Decay. You did the same shit you always do. You disappointed us. Thanks. So that is New Makeup Nonsense Bingo for February 2020. If you, for some reason, don't know who Theresa is and have not watched her video, please go check it out. I will have it linked in the description box. If you are over here on my channel because of Theresa, thank you so very much. I hope you subscribe and follow along with my colorful shenanigans. Thank you to everyone that has already subscribed to me, and thank you to my patrons. Let me know if anything that I talked about today is on your personal wish list or is on your personal anti-haul list. I would love to hear what you're lusting after and what you're totally hating on. Let's chat in the comments. Always a fun time. And thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. I hope to see you again real soon. Bye, friends.